once again, mouthpieces in, cup check time, hard knocks and cheap shots. Speaking of hard shots, we got Pacquiao versus Chris Algieri this weekend.
Yeah, big fight. Chris Algieri, the pride of Huntington, New York. What and literally, I'm not kidding about this. I take the Long Island Railroad to work each day, so I've seen these billboards plastered literally every single corner here. So, obviously we have a big fight here where Chris Algieri, up and coming, his last big fight against Ruslan Prodnikov. I hope I pronounced that right.
Ruslan Prodnikov.
12-round decision. So
I that's what I like about Chris Algieri. Tough kid. I mean, obviously the guy can take a shot. We saw that against Ruslan, and Ruslan's one of the hardest hitting guys in the entire spectrum of boxing right now. He even got knocked down twice, if I'm not mistaken, in the fight. So we know Algieri can take a shot, which would be interesting because Manny Pacquiao's lost his power, whether it's age or other reasons, to be determined. He did pass every drug test, so let's not, But he has lost power. I think he can hang with Pacquiao. I'm not saying that Algieri can win, but I think he can stay in the ring and go the 12 rounds with Pacquiao.
Well, it's going to be quite a test because this is a guy who is a living legend right now at his own time. At this point, Pacquiao is definitely going to be one of those standard bearer tests where we're going to really see what Chris Algieri can really bring to the game.
And I'm not really sold on Manny Pacquiao's chin after he got put out by Marquez. I mean, he put his lights out on a great counterpunch. I still feel that Pacquiao's susceptible to certain counterpunchers, as we've seen in the past. And Timothy Bradley gave him problems, another good counterpuncher. So, considering, Algieri's a smart former kickboxer, former karate champion, this guy comes in with a little bit of a brain here going into this fight. It's not the easiest fight as people are making it out to be for Pacquiao.
So who's your pick?
I mean, Pacquiao by decision, especially in Macau. I mean, you know how boxing works. If it goes to the cards, Pacquiao's going to get it. There's no way they're going to give it to Algieri.
All right, and speaking of other big fights this weekend, Survivor Series and wrestling coming up this Sunday, and we got a pretty big card here on the lineup here. So
it's nice to see the old school Survivor Series 5-on-5 elimination match. I'm really excited about that. You got a lot of main event carders as well as some of the high-end mid-carders on his bout. I'm predicting that the Authority is going to win and continue controlling things in the WWE per, the storylines. But I'm fascinated to see a lot of different things. Are they going to bring Orton back? Obviously, Ryback's probably going to end up on Team Cena. Luke Harper will probably be the fifth guy, which I find that fascinating as far as Team Authority. So I like what's going on there.
Well, it's funny, though. I mean, we can tell that right off the bat since when they brought in Vince McMahon for this whole angle a couple of weeks ago that this is clearly going to be a match to watch. I think that they wouldn't have brought him in there if they didn't signal something very dramatic happening with the Authority angle. I think I wouldn't be surprised if it continued, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if Team Cena won this one because at the same time, while the Authority's had a pretty good year-long run, they've had a little bit of distance and time to put together a point where they could probably stop the angle, maybe spread things out.
I have no problem with the Authority continuing this run. Hell, it's Stephanie McMahon's company. She owns the thing. It's Triple H's company. So I'm all right with that. I hope it kind of continues. It's probably going to steamroll right straight into WrestleMania 31. We'll see what happens.
But another interesting angle I just kind of got some buzz lately is the Divas title match between AJ Lee and Nikki Bella. Now the rumors have been flying around lately over the weekend that this could possibly be AJ Lee's last match in the company. That rumors are having it that she could be leaving, therefore she might be dropping the title this Sunday.
If she drops the title, it makes sense for her to drop it to Nikki Bella, who's been the face of Total Divas, as has Brie Bella, as well as the Divas division in the WWE. I don't want to see AJ leave. I don't want to see her drop the title. I love AJ Lee. So, I love AJ Lee. I really love AJ Lee. But I'd hope to see her at least until WrestleMania 31, where hopefully I'd like to see her go against Stephanie McMahon, to be frank.
Yeah, definitely. Well, careful, because CM Punk could be watching you, so you never know.
I'm not messing with Phil.
And moving on to UFC news, UFC 180 just finished up, and how about that Chris Werdum fight there?
Werdum. Fabricio Werdum is now the interim heavyweight champion in UFC. He knocked out Mark Hunt with a vicious knee. It was a
Yes.
great. It was. You know, I was actually expecting it to go full 5 rounds. I was expecting more of his jiu-jitsu to come into play, but he just took him out with a knee. Although he took some shots from Mark Hunt. Mark Hunt being one of the heaviest hitters in the division. He challenged Cain Velasquez as soon as he's healthy, and he wants to fight to be either in Brazil or Mexico, which, by the way, shout out to the Mexican crowd. They were really awesome, excellent, translated well on TV. It's obvious that UFC has found a new market in Mexico. I hope they continue doing events there.
So with this, does this mean that Werdum is going to be the next one in line to fight Velasquez?
Yeah, it has to be. Werdum's gonna be. It's you have to make that fight. Interim champion versus the champion. I don't think they're gonna strip Velasquez of the title, as there was a few rumors going around about that. But even if they stripped him of the title, I don't see how Cain Velasquez is not the #1 contender. You can make an argument for Junior Dos Santos. He still has a fight coming up soon, but it's got to be Cain versus Werdum coming up. And I think it would be awesome if we were in Mexico City.
It will definitely be interesting to see how that whole thing develops. And that wraps up this edition of Hard Knocks and Cheap Shots. Remember to tune in next week for more. And to continue the conversation, remember to log on to LatinPost.com. I'm John Paul Salamanca, this is Zen Molina, and we are punching out.